Good. I'm gonna just turn this up. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world. Augmentation Evoker is out, and I wanted to make a video of like tips and tricks, and then I'll do a video of like rotation and all that kind of jazz. There's a whole bunch of them out, so you can go check them out. But I'll probably, do one of my own because I'm loving Evoker or Augmentation Evoker. As you can see, we're going through the warcraft logs. We've got a whole bunch of 20s timed, and we also got a 17. We still need an Altharis. And if we go into warcraft logs, you can see here, like the damage done, 79. But the more I've been playing it, so this is my baby evoker, my second evoker that I did a pug on. This is like you can see, I'm increasing. I'm increasing in damage, which pretty much means I'm like getting comfortable with the spec. Yes, it's like just pressing Ebon Might, keeping Ebon Might up and all that kind, but I wanted to give you a little bit more of a few three, 4 tips and tricks. If I just do this is what I want to talk about. Tips and tricks on how to make your, I guess, evoker gameplay a little bit better. And if you are just joining Augmentation Evoker, a whole bunch of good guides, preheat, Bowser the healer. I actually don't know any other 2 people that I've seen, but those 2 are Jericho as well. Go check them out. Great stuff. Check them out. These are my own personal tips and tricks. So what I'll do is I'll show some gameplay while talking about these. So I was looking through this my whole freehold 20, and I was trying to figure out where I can find where Fire Breath and Upheaval were up before Ebon Might, but I actually couldn't find one. But holding cooldowns, so I'm just going to play this while I talk about it. The holding cooldowns. Holding cooldowns mean your cooldowns are Ebon Might, Fire Breath, and Upheaval. Ebon Might and Fire Breath and Upheaval extend your Ebon Might. If you are playing correctly, you press your Ebon Might, then you press your Fire Breath, then you press your Upheaval. Fire Breath will never come up off cooldown, or Upheaval come up before Ebon Might comes off cooldown. But I've seen some augmentation evokers where, as you can see, Fire Breath is still coming on cooldown. If it was the other way around, Fire Breath was there and Ebon Might was on cooldown, I've seen some evokers press Fire Breath without Ebon Might up, meaning that you're already losing 1 whole GCD of Fire Breath and 2-3 seconds of extensions on your Ebon Might. So you're not keeping up Ebon Might as much as possible. Sorry about that. So always hold your Fire Breath and always hold your Upheaval until your Ebon Might comes back up, so you can resync those spells throughout the dungeon. You keep pressing your Fire Breath and you keep pressing your Upheaval on cooldown, and your Ebon Might isn't up, then you're going to be desyncing and you're going to have a less overall uptime on Ebon Might throughout the dungeon. So hold your cooldowns. Hold your cooldowns. So using Timeskip correctly. Timeskip pretty much allows you in a raid setting, and also can be used in Mythic Plus, to get a lot of your versatility out very, very quickly. So what you do is, you open it, is you Prescience 2 targets, and then you use your trinkets and your pot, you use Ebon Might, Tip of the Scales, Fire Breath, Upheaval, get everything on cooldown, Breath of Eons. So as you can see here, I have 2 Presciences up over here. And we're just going through our cooldowns. So Fire Breath, into Upheaval, into Breath of Eons. What I should have done here, I think I do it in a later pool, but I should wait to 2 seconds. So I had 2 seconds left on Prescience. So I should have waited 2 seconds of Prescience, buffed another person, which would mean that Chen would have 12 seconds left. The next person will have 22 or 24 seconds, then you hit Timeskip, then Prescience comes back up, and then you buff another person. That means you have 3 Presciences running, and then what will happen is if we look at Timeskip takes Fire Breath and Upheaval back down to 3 seconds from 30 seconds, and then Upheaval from 40 seconds to 14 seconds. That means you can wait until you hit 10 seconds or about 8 seconds, then you press your Ebb and Might again, get your Ebb and Might back up to the maximum 20 seconds, and then you press your Fire Breath, get another set of Shifting Sands, which is your versatility off to someone. So I should be Ebb and Mighting. I didn't. What did I do? I press an eruption to extend, and then look, 10 seconds, Ebb and Might, get that full 20 seconds, Ebb and Might into Fire Breath, into an eruption. I should have pressed Upheaval first, and then eruption afterwards. But that's how you play Timeskip, is to get as many Shifting Sands out as fast as possible to your group in Mythic Plus and also Raid. So hopefully that helps you, gives you an understanding of what Shifting Sands is actually. The next thing is using Prescience. Always use Prescience. Even, I actually tell this in this video. I think it's a bit later. But always use Prescience even when you're running in between packs. You're probably thinking, why would you do that? The reason why you do that is because if you don't have Prescience on cooldown, or Prescience, sorry, I say Prescience. If you don't have Prescience on cooldown into a pack, when you start a pack, you're only going to have 1 Prescience up with 1 Fate Mirror up. You're running in between packs and you're keeping your Prescience or Prescience up. That means into every single pack, you're going to have 2 minimum Presciences up, which means they can use your Fate Mirror and do some more damage. The reason why is because if you don't do that, it becomes unsynced. So at the start of a pack, you can have 2. If you don't keep your Prescience up between your packs, then you're going to only have 1, and that's going to, your overall buffing is actually going to be really bad, and it desyncs both your Prescience targets, both your damage targets. So one would be at like 10 seconds, and you'd still have maybe like, see, in this case here, I didn't do it properly. Spikes here has 1 second left, and we still have 6 seconds left on Prescience to come up. That means there are potentially up to 5 seconds where he does not have the crit, and he does not have Fate Mirror to proc extra damage. So we just keep playing it, he runs out, and now we're desynced. You should have it back up now, and I have to press it on cooldown, but I didn't, which is very noob of me. Oh no, in my mind here, I was thinking, yep, I can hold it, and then I buff, I think I buff Darty, which is Dragon, for this next pull, because Devoker is really strong at high health. Yep, so I buff him. Let's see, because I didn't use it on cooldown, it means that only one person has the Prescience buff with Fate Mirror. If you keep it on cooldown, it means both of them would have had 3% crit and a chance to proc extra damage. So always use Prescience. Always use Prescience while running into keys. While running into packs. Which I'm going to close this. And the last one is macros. There are really no real macros that you need to use as a augmentation evoker. There's really one macro that I generally use, or 2 macros, is I have, so down in, you can't see, let me just move me for a second. So in my bars here, I have Prescience target 1 and Prescience target 2, and then a mouse over macro for my Prescience. So In Raid, you have one person targeted, or in Mythic Plus, you have one person targeted. And then in Mythic Plus, you have your second person targeted, which is both your DPSs. And then just say if one of your DPS die, I have a mouse over macro, which I can put it onto the healer, or I can put it onto the tank, whoever need it, mostly the tank. And then I have a blistering scales one, which I can press blistering scales on any target when you just mouse over. That's all you really need. You don't really need anything else. You don't even have to use these macros. I just use them personally because it's easier for me to target specific people when I want prescience on those targets. You don't have to use them. It does smart. It does use smart tracking. So even if you don't target yourself and you press prescience, it will go to the nearest target that is preferably a damage dealer. But if you do use these mouse over macros, it's going to target you first rather than someone else. So I would say if you're doing the lazy way and you don't want to target yourself much with prescience, don't use these mouse over macro, because when you press it, you're going to target yourself rather than someone that's near you. But those are my tips and tricks. Very short, very quick. Hope you're enjoying Augmentation Evoker as much as I am. Drop a comment, drop a like, drop a subscribe, drop a whatever you wish. But have a good day wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.